Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to share with you something that I have learned and has been one of my most challenging things to learn and embody in this lifetime that the universe has taught me over and over again. And by learning or practicing embodying this, my life has changed exponentially. It has grown. I've changed so much. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about embodying humility. So what is humility? Let's talk about what that is and define that. Let's talk about what humility is not. Humility is not being prideful. Now, there's nothing wrong with being proud of what you've done or who you are. But excessive pride, right, also known as hubris, which you've heard before, is never a good thing. When you're prideful or too proud, you close yourself off to learning. And this is the essence of humility as I've understood and embodied it. I used to be such an a-hole, so arrogant. I used to be so mean. I used to be so cruel, but that's a little something different. Why I was so challenged in growing and I was struggling so long to take off is because I thought that I knew it all. I thought that you couldn't tell me anything. I'm a smart guy, I'll figure it out, I'll do my own research, I already know that, blah, 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 right? I thought I was the ish and knew it all and all this stuff. And the universe humbled me over and over and over again. So here are some funny examples about how the universe had humbled me. So for instance, have you ever, I remember when I was growing up, I used to play Madden on PlayStation, right? Football game. And we would get way too serious playing Madden with my friends. And so we would play these games and there was a lot of trash talking going on. Oh my gosh, it was pretty, anyways, it was very, very immature, very childish, but we were boys. So we would play Madden and someone would kick my butt and I was really good at trash talking. I'm fairly good with words, I'm fairly articulate and I can read people. So I knew how to get under people's skin. So obviously if somebody would beat me and they were sitting here talking trash, I was like, I'm gonna whoop them next time. I would play the next game of Madden and I would go crazy. I would get under their skin so much and be so arrogant and put them down. And then the universe would humble me because the next round, oh my God, I just got my butt kicked. It was like the game turned on me and I got squashed into the ground. So humility is suppressing, or not suppressing, but allowing yourself to be vulnerable and hurt. And it's not the higher self, it's the lower self, it's your ego. And here's how being humble manifests itself in your life as at least for me, one of the most powerful lessons and ways of being I can learn. The second somebody says, oh, I already know that. I already know that. I already know how to do that. How much are they learning? No matter how long they've been doing a job, how much are they learning if they say, I already know that? I've been doing this for 10, 15 years. You can't teach me anything I don't know. Who says that? Someone who's humble or someone who's arrogant and thinks they know it all? The second you think you know it all, you shut yourself off from growing and learning valuable lessons. So if you think you've got everything all figured out, you know all the answers to everything, you're Mr. Know-It-All. Oh, I've read all the books. I do know it all. I am right about this. Sure, there's a couple things again. Maybe you do know it all. Maybe you are an expert on your subject and no one can tell you anything. But how is that also helping the relationship or the people that you're working with? If you are super arrogant and you do know everything and no one can tell you anything, does that help anybody? Or true humility, true power is knowing everything and still being humble, approaching things with kindness so that you can teach and help other people. Humility is the key, or at least for me it has been, in some of the rapid, exponential, and very powerful transformational growth I'm currently experiencing and continue to experience. The more I say I don't know, the more I learn. And even when I think I know, I understand that this is just my ego talking and I need to learn again. Here's another personal example. When I started personal training, I studied to become what's called a CSCS, a Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist from the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Yeah, it's a lot of big words. Basically, it's the most recognized and respected credential for athletic and sports and conditioning coaches for trainers on the collegiate and professional level. So all the guys training the D1 athletes, all the guys training guys in the NFL, the NBA, NHL, golf, the PGA, all the professional sports, and all the major sports teams. They're what's called a CSCS. You have to have a bachelor's degree just to sit for the degree, or to sit for the test. So I thought I was all hot stuff. I had my college degree, and then I went and became a CSCS because I was like, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna be a professional sports trainer at the time. That was my dream at the time. And that sparks an idea for another video, but anyways, how we have to change and pivot and go with things. I digress. So I thought I was freaking hot stuff, man. And I got hired at a big box gym in Hermosa Beach, California. And it was like one of the ones that was sold the most personal training in the state. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna crush it. And I thought I was hot stuff because I had my bachelor's degree and I had this certification that was like piece of paper that said I was super cool and smart and all this stuff. And I remember going into the gym the first day and my fitness manager at the time, Jose, I doubt he's watching this, but what's up, Jose, if you're watching this? He's like, all right, he's like, show me what you got. Like, you know, you're hired, let's get you on the floor, you know, let's have you go train me. And it's so funny. I went up there on the gym floor with him to like show him what I knew. And he's like, show me how to do this or this. I didn't know what the hell I was doing because I'd never trained anybody. I'd never done a session in my life. I had no idea how to teach people. I had no idea how to apply the knowledge that I had learned. And I really didn't even learn that much, to be honest. I thought I knew what I was talking about because I could do some stuff, calculations on paper. I was like, I had no idea how to train people. And that was humbling. I came in so arrogant, so confident, and I immediately got humbled. My manager's like, you don't know what the F you're doing, man. Get out of here. Like, I was like, no, I don't. Oh my God. I was so embarrassed. I felt so silly. And I'm sure you've had experiences like this in your life where you came off so cocky, you came off so arrogant, you thought you knew everything, and then you immediately got humbled and it hurts your ego, it hurts your pride. You feel embarrassed, you feel like an idiot, you look so stupid, you're like, oh my God, like why would I do that? Why would I say that? So this is how powerful humility is. And the most powerful, the most intelligent, the most talented, the most skilled people are the most humble people. And I'm sure you know people like this who are incredible at what they do and they're incredibly modest. That's because they still embody humility and what's called the beginner's mind. And this is why they're so great, because of their humility and willing to embrace what they don't know. Sure, giving themselves credit and feeling respectful of themselves and acknowledging themselves for the hard work and knowledge and expertise they have, they still approach things with a beginner's mind, which allows them to continue to grow, which is why they're so great at what they do. So if you're someone who feels stuck in life, or here's a big red flag for yourself, if you're someone who can't take constructive criticism, that means your ego's running your life, my friend, and your ego is getting in the way of your growth because you think you know it all, and you don't. You just don't. You think you know it all, but you don't. And I know probably tons of people clicked off this video because their ego got triggered and they were like, oh, shut up, this guy, you're an idiot. What do you know? I do know it all. That is an egoic response. The opportunity here and why I'm talking about this, and again, how this has impacted my life, is when I've humbled myself repeatedly and said, I don't know anything. Even though I think I know stuff, I don't know anything. That's when I've learned the most. That's when I've learned the most and I've grown the most. So you may think you know it all, and you certainly do, but let me ask you this. Do you think there's people out there in the world better than you at what you're an expert in? The answer is of course. Do you think there's people out there that know less than you, even if you just started? The answer is of course. There's always going to be people greater and lesser than you, but the second you come off with arrogance, it does two things. You stunt your own growth and you stop learning. And two, who wants to work with someone who's arrogant and knows it all? It's the humility. That's not helping anyone. You're not helping your position in that way either. So one of the biggest lessons for me is you guys don't understand. It's so funny when I meet people now and they're like, that was you, no way. I used to be the most arrogant, freaking fat-headed human being, oh my gosh. And it was only through the universe humbling me through so many different experiences that I got it through my hard head that, oh, I don't know it all. Oh, I have a lot to learn. And now over the past few years, embodying this in so many different ways, I have grown exponentially as a person in so many areas of my life. Because when I did start getting good as a trainer and I had a full client roster at a big box gym, then I decided to take all my clients private, and I took my clients private. And I thought I was hot stuff again. And guess what? I didn't know crap about training still, because I met someone in my life who is an old buddy of mine, and he taught me how to really transform people's lives when it comes to training. And then I took it to another level, understanding the psychology about all this stuff. But it was only through being humble and learning from other people that I began to grow. So if you are triggered by this and go, this guy, you're an idiot, you don't know me, I am an expert, I've written 1,000 books on my subject and stuff, and I know people like that in my life who I've trained or friends or whatever who are like at the top of their field. But guess what? One, they're the most humble people, and two, they continue to learn, because the learning never stops. There's always more to learn. Okay, great. So you're an expert in biomechanical engineering. Great. Do you know anything about fine food and culinary arts? No. Or maybe you're an expert chef and you're up there with the world's greatest chefs and you're one of the top financial advisors in the world. Okay, great. Are you a fitness expert? Are you as good as someone who is out there training frickin' Luka Doncic and the top NFL and NBA athletes? No, you don't know crap about fitness at that level or how to train professional athletes. You're great at finance. So see what I'm saying? There's levels to this stuff, and it's only your ego and your insecurity that wants to say, I know it all, I got it all, but you're only hurting your own cause. It's only when you can humble yourself and have a beginner's mind in which the world will open up to you in so many ways. And it only benefits you and the other people around you. So I was gonna read the quotes, but there's a poem that I used to read from time to time, and I haven't read it in a while, but there's a line in here that comes up that I'm going to read to you guys. So the poem is called Desiderata, and it means desired things in Latin. It's written by an old, I think he was a lawyer, Max Ehrmann, in 1927. There's a line in here that at least illustrates or expresses, highlights what I was saying about comparing yourself. And it's really only the ego that wants to do that. I'm better than you. And where does that come from? That comes from your own insecurity. I need to put everybody down, show everybody how great I am so that I feel better about myself, because I really feel insecure. Because if you felt secure with yourself, you wouldn't feel the need to flex your knowledge and put other people down, because you don't feel the need to make yourself feel better because you feel good about who you are. So it's only the people that do that. So if you have people in your life also that are like that and they're super egomaniac, arrogant, just do what you can. But first, I think it would benefit you to come with an attitude of understanding of them, that the most arrogant people are the most insecure. That's why they feel they have the most to prove, and that's why they need to dominate and control others, because they don't feel safe, they don't feel secure within themselves or with their environment, so they're trying to control everything. And this is, again, I don't make up the rules. This is just how it goes. This is how we are as human beings until we become aware, until we wake up spiritually, until we become conscious of these things and we begin to look at these things again with humility so we can learn about ourselves. So the poem Desiderata, there's so much wisdom in this too. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Humility. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. That was the line. I'm going to read the rest of it, though. It's a great poem. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, Be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations and the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is a beautiful world. Be cheerful, strive to be happy. Such a beautiful poem. I haven't read that in a while. I feel like each time I read that poem too, there's a few lines that stick out that seem most pertinent and relative to my life. But I wanted to share that with you as it pertains to humility, understanding that no matter how good you are at your craft, even if you are the best, there's always people better than you, and there's always people worse than you. What good does it do to compare yourself? It doesn't. And the only part of you that feels the need to compare yourself with others is your ego, your insecurity, because you need a system of ranking to feel good. But when you can get over that part of your ego and develop true love and acceptance for yourself and who you are through humility, accepting and loving yourself for all your flaws, all your greatness, everything, that's when you will begin to bloom and live a truly peaceful life with a still heart and a clear mind. So the quotes I have for you today, first one's Ralph Waldo Emerson. A great man is always willing to be little. And I remember one that popped into my head that I didn't write down. If you really want to be a great leader, you have to be a great soldier first. You have to be a great follower. If you want to be a great leader, you have to be a good follower. Because how can you lead people if you're not willing to follow? You don't know what it's like to follow a good leader. So if you're not willing to follow a good leader, you can never embody that because you don't know how these people are that you're leading will respond because you've never embodied that. It's humility. So the second one, it was pride that changed angels into devils. It is humility that makes men as angels. St. Augustine. And then I don't know where this last one comes from, but it always pops into my mind. I think about this all the time because of my time as a personal trainer. Man, I thought I knew it all. I was this young, arrogant, like cocky. I wasn't even in that good shape in like retrospect. Like I was in good shape, I was strong, but again, with the wisdom that I learned, God, how much better I got like with my own body. I didn't really understand how to really transform people's bodies until I did it myself. And that's a time for another video. Anyways, a fool thinks himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. When you approach life with a beginner's mind, when you approach things with an attitude of I don't know and I'm willing to learn, or even if I do know, I know I can learn something from this person, then you will learn and you will grow and you will change and you will invite in so many new opportunities and connections and synchronicities and so many great things into your life. It's all about self-awareness and being able to humble ourselves at an egoic level. It's only your ego that wants to be better than people because your true heart knows that we're all the same. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all the same. We're all human beings. Everybody likes to eat good food. Everybody needs to drink water. Everyone needs to sleep. Everyone enjoys sex. We're human beings. Those are like human necessary needs. We're all the same. If you take away political affiliation and sexuality and religion and color of your skin and ethnicity and what types of food you like to eat, none of that stuff really matters because at the base level, if you get cut, you're going to bleed just like the person next to you. So this is what I think will really heal the world is when we can get to this place of humility within ourselves. It gives us a place of understanding and compassion for other people. When we can hold that place of understanding and compassion from one another, we can learn from one another. When we learn from one another, it means we're respecting one another. When we respect one another, we work together. When we work together, we're better all around. This is us raising the conscious collective. So that's what I have for you today. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace.